TL. And so we're going to take a look at these, and then maybe, if I feel like it, and I have time, do LGD versus EDG later, because I haven't seen that either, because I had to cast Vainglory yesterday during... I only saw part of that match, like the part of the third game. So, that's kind of the plan. I know the results of these games, but I have not seen them. This is usually how it is when... Because like these games happen in the middle of the night for me. They start at about 4 a.m. here in Korea. So I looked at the Reddit thread, and I just saw the results. But that's all. It's not... Sometimes, pretty much only Korean games will I have seen already when I review them. Sometimes that's not true, but I haven't seen this game. So we're just gonna start it up. And I have fun new tools for today, guys. You know, I'm extra ready. Now I can draw. Ooh, look at this Gnar. Oh, yeah. Flash. So we're gonna have fun in team fights with drawing. What a time to be alive, boys. Oh, I can't actually press with this. The more you know. Okay. So, to start with, game 1 of this series, basically Team Liquid didn't know how to play Juggermaw, and they tried to play Juggermaw. And I saw Phoenix, like, I'm trying to remember if he ever actually ulted Piglet, because he was busy wild growthing a bunch of other people to keep them alive, because they were trying to engage instead of just kiting, which you should do as a Juggermaw. So, Team Liquid... It looked like they still had all of the same issues that they had previously. Also, the other thing about the Juggermaw comp that I noticed was that in an A, for some reason, it's the supports that build Aegis and Locket, which didn't make a lot of sense because Xpecial should have rushed like Face of the Mountain and Crucible to keep the Kog'Maw alive, and Dominate should have had the Aegis because he didn't need a Randuin's Omen because he's not... Like, what use is that? You're playing a kite composition. You can get the Aegis faster on the jungler, and because Piglet didn't have, or Xpecial didn't have Crucible, Piglet had to third item by QSS instead of finishing Last Whisper, then QSS, because and that doesn't really help him because there's a Frozen Heart Maokai on the other team. So all in all, itemization, team fighting, target selection was super off for Team Liquid. They also tried that ridiculous 25-minute Baron instead of just taking towers when they had a perfectly fine composition to scale into the late game. So, yeah, can you guys actually see the pen? I don't actually know if you can see it. People are complaining. So I'm going to turn on my stream and see if I can see it. Can I see if I draw on this screen? Okay. Okay, well, I may have to figure out a creative solution to this. Hold on. Let me figure this out real quick. Actually, you know what? Fuck it. I'm not going to figure this out now. We're just going to start reviewing this VOD. This is not that important. I can still use my pointer and it's going to be fine. I know I could use the monitor capture, but I did the screen capture already. And no, we're not. Screw it. I'm only capturing this tab from Chrome and monitor. I'm using XSplit, and the monitor capture is confusing me. And we should just really start this. Okay. I don't care. That's what I'm learning. Apathy. Apathy is the key to getting the stream going. Okie dokie. So... let's get in. Yeah, maybe I'll use OBS. Look, I'm old. I don't like new technology. I know how to use XSplit. I don't want to figure out OBS right now. Okay, so let me know if the casters are going to be too loud, but I like to listen to them. Some like as nice background music. Sounds. Okay, so basically TSM, we have Janna banned, so they're trying to just make sure there isn't any disengaged TF, common blue side ban on this patch, because I think we're still on 5.14 here. Echo, okay, I mean, I guess. I think that what TSM did well in the last game was set up a nice frontline zone with Azir, Echo, and Maokai, so that makes sense. They protected the Jinx quite nicely. The Lulu ban, I don't really think you need to ban both Lulu and Olaf. I don't think you need to ban either of them, as a matter of fact. I think you should just not ban them and not worry about it, because I don't think the Lulu-Olaf composition would really be that effective against Team Liquid. It's just my feeling. I said that before, that there are a lot of individual threats on TL, so kind of all-inning on an Olaf pick may not be such a great idea. But they're going to ban both anyway. I don't really... yeah. Yeah, I don't know about that. It's not terrible, but it's okay. It's not great either. So, first pick Nidalee, very strong jungler on this patch. Okay, fine. This is... so they're setting up a good tank lane on Team Liquid. Okay. We're still waiting for primary engage here. There is no primary engage on this TSM composition, particularly now since they changed the knock-up on Azir's ultimate, so I'm not sure exactly how TSM is going to start fights here. They're good at kiting. They have nice poke with Nidalee and Azir. Maybe they get lucky and get a nice Flash Gnar ultimate, but not that great. Meanwhile, we have very heavy engage for Team Liquid. Obviously, they've locked in the Sivir. Good pick potential with Maokai and Elise. Good engage with primary engage with Maokai and Alistar. And let's take a look at what's their last pick going to be. Okay, Victor. All right, fine. So this is a perfectly fine team composition from Team Liquid. I really like what we're seeing here. This seems to be serviceable, and the problem with TSM is they've got really good choke control. They have the poke from Nidalee, they have the Gnar Azir match, but they don't have a way to really engage themselves. So if Team Liquid starts to get ahead and they're sitting on a dragon or a baron, it's going to be very difficult for TSM to actually contest that objective, because as long as TL just starts it immediately, they won't have enough time to poke before TL takes the dragon or the baron. So they should be okay there. Bjergsen should win lane against Victor. The Azir pushes him in early. He has trouble with the Naster's Tooth build. You have a lot of attack speed. Two aggressive early game junglers. Dyrus should win the top lane. So I guess what we're looking at right here is sort of a net laning advantage for TSM. And I think a stronger pick and engage composition late game. So if TL's, they should really start thinking about getting the early dragons. That's going to be really beneficial for them. And they have a lot of burst.
Now Victor versus Azir goes. It was Lulu versus Azir last time. We're going to keep it.
So we're just going to fast forward through this crap.
Look, Team Liquid.
TSM was the 5th seed coming into the playoffs. Team Liquid the #1 seed. But
what? Victor is 4-20 in NA? Are you serious?
They are not your average 5 seed.
Wow. That's appalling. He's super good.
Not the best results in their playoffs when they were able to reach them from 2013 on. Here they're trying to change that. They're trying to rewrite new history for themselves. They broke.
Okay.
Now they get the chance to try to do that for first place.
Nothing too interesting happening yet. Interesting that Phoenix has
The early
heal.
wards once again get placed.
I suppose that makes sense against Nidalee.
See the pings where their trajectory.
If you get hit by a spear, Ghost is not going to help you or anything like that.
Trade some HP.
Still think. I still think you should just rely more on wards, and if you can run Ghost. The thing about Ghost with the Sivir, so he has the Sivir ult, so he will have that speed buff, but Ghost is so good on Victor for repositioning in team fights.
So pretty much mirrored lane swap styles.
Piglet is
Are you going to turn up YouTube?
in the bottom lane. We're calling right now though. To swap.
Okay, so we're just waiting right now. We have deep
Maybe
wards in on
TSM
both
tries to
sides.
disrupt a sapling prep. It's actually pretty rare nowadays that a Maokai can prep a camp fully and get away with it. Teams are on the lookout for Maokais to do the early level 1 camp with the sapling preparation, but because TSM doesn't have vision, this would actually be a very dangerous stop.
Here comes the late invade on red.
Yeah.
Phoenix will be able to get the small raptors, but TSM going to steal this away.
So they will be matched here, and this is an interesting invade. This is somewhat dangerous from TSM. TL doesn't react to this very well, so this is a style of invade that we see in Korea sometimes. But usually what you do is you would put the wards down and then invade where you actually have vision, as opposed to this. This is bold. They probably just want to deny the Maokai sapling stacks, but they don't even do that, which is
Here comes the late invade on red.
interesting. But you see the issue here is that there are currently 5 people here in TL's side of the jungle to 4. So I would be rather nervous about this if I was TSM.
Yeah. Phoenix will be able to get the small raptors, but
And they know they're there, and instead, now Death Ray is on cooldown, we know that, but they know that this is happening.
TSM going to steal this away.
Interesting. I think TL really missed out on a chance to
Easy peasy there.
kick their ass, but
Looks like dominant.
yeah, I know they have Braum, but
Yeah.
there's an Alistair on the other side.
Party here if they see each other. They know the small
Both teams have
backs are
decent level
tackles,
ones.
so they
Quas to
understand
get
that
the small
TSM
ones
still
there.
So Santorin gets the red
There's an
buff. I mean, it's not
advantage right here for
not
TSM.
terrible,
Already have
but
to, and actually, TSM got combined about half a level, which is how much the actual red buff gives you, not counting the small monsters.
so we'll see how it goes. The buff may not be that important in the early game, depending on how things play out, but we do get the 2v2 in the top side at any rate.
So interested about the buff, and you got to get out.
The fact that Santorin is now behind in levels means that it's going to be much more difficult to gank Victor after a first clear. So that's something that will make Phoenix feel better. Quas also just instantly going to teleport into the bottom side, meanwhile Jungle Fall is still continuing over here.
Take the experience advantage. Continue their jungling.
Something I always thought about in the beginning when it kind of wasn't 2v2 all the time was, what are they doing with that buff? Are they backing? That's like 20 wasted seconds. Is it going to be
Okay,
useful? It
so
just seems they use it to farm, like you said, Kobe. Not too many of those early ganks. See, 2v2 in the top lane.
Dyer's just going to TP and catch the wave. That's a very nice and efficient use of his time. It was pushing towards him anyway. He maximized his time in the enemy jungle. Quas still has a little bit of an XP advantage for now, but it also has opened up Quas to roam into the mid lane. Now, he's just going to put a ward. He could be walking here.
Maybe somebody giving me a little bit of love in the mid lane. And warding the top side might actually, no, Quas pulls off.
I think you go for that.
Someone else noticed the aggression.
So here's the thing. He puts the ward here, and then he knows exactly where Santorin should be, right? There are only 2 possibilities right now. One of which is that Santorin is at red buff, because he just poked in here and he should have seen that the Raptors were not being done. Or Santorin is back at base on his first buy, which is unlikely because they just took the red buff and then he just only has the 9 creeps so far. But if he's at red buff, he's not going to have any potions. So I think you just make a move onto Bjergsen here and just try and W him and get an early advantage for Phoenix. You might as well just blow his cleanse, or maybe if you're really lucky you can get his flash or something like that. Because since there's a 2v2 in top, and Santorin is not going to be at full HP, there's very low risk of a counter gank. And you, at the worst, you can just come in here, W Bjergsen, and walk out the top side of the river here. It's not really a lot of counterplay, and you have a free gank, basically. Yeah, if you spam in my chat, I will just ban you forever, because I don't give a fuck. So don't do that.
Mid lane, and it was Quas, so he was hoping to catch Bjergsen on an aggressive harassment pattern, but he also didn't want to waste too much time because they have to continue.
Yeah, okay, he doesn't know where Braum or Jinx are, but they most likely went back. Sure, that's definitely a consideration, but there's been some decent poke damage down. I just think I think that's an acceptable risk to take at that moment in time.
These lane swaps to keep up with each other.
Yep. So they do swap.
One interesting thing that happened is Quas went down to the bottom lane to catch the farm early since he had a small experience advantage, and immediately went to shoving the lane. And he actually ended up forcing...
It's not that bad of a mistake, but we're just looking at things that maybe could have been done. I'm not saying it was 100% the right call, but that's just something that popped into mind when I saw that.
They actually would have had an opportunity to kill Dyrus bottom lane. Either way, though, it puts Quas in quite...
So we have a swap back now. Everybody deciding to return to standard lanes with Duo in bottom, top and top. Santorin looking for a gank. Not going to find it.
So focused on mid. Like
Or is he?
Flying through with a bit of that passive movement speed, looking to at least push Phoenix out of lane. He almost gets a nice spear, but great dodge by Phoenix. He knows how to play the lane very safe. And you should probably expect a bit more of that harassment.
I don't think you go for that gank. It's like so small chance that that works.
Gonna give him a very easy game. He's on his
He was already playing. He was cheating up into top because he had Elise right here. So even if, basically, even if that had worked... Okay, Elise is right here. Santorin hits the spear. Santorin goes in. Azir can't follow up. Elise repels onto Santorin. In a way, maybe Phoenix should have taken that spear. He has summon or heal. They could have killed Santorin there, maybe. Because if Santorin jumps in after that spear... But he probably was just going to poke him and then leave the lane, not jump in after it. So...
Probably expect a bit more of that harassment to come into the mid lane.
You know, little poke.
Very easy game. He's on his
and that's going to be it.
Making an appearance whenever he can.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Dominate had the first return base, so he's back out on the map with the extra wards earlier. He's sitting up on top side though, and Dyrus does have his defensive trinket ward up at least. Waiting for it to die. They actually had a really good timing on that defensive trinket ward up top. Dominate moved in right when the ward died.
Okay, so attempted a gank right here. Dyrus about to hit Mega Gnar. See if they actually wait for the Mega Gnar to run out.
I think Santorin, yeah, he showed.
Yeah, so nothing possible if Santorin wasn't there. Maybe they go for it, but smart of TL to just back off.
The level 4 damage from Elise is immense.
Team Liquid really wanted to set that one right.
And Dominate still hasn't backed, so he doesn't have Chilling Smite like Santorin does. So that's not a fight you want to take.
Both junglers heading topside. Non-action.
Definitely more pressure for Dominate's jungle though this time. A little bit more. They definitely. Let's see if he goes back for another attempt, and it does look like he's hovering with that pink ward coverage. They for sure have something.
Okay, I'm gonna try it again.
He does.
Okay, that was.
Waited for the hop with the CC down, but they still go for the kill.
There's not an excuse for missing that, really. Basically, at this point, this is one of the easiest ganks you can do. It's a Maokai twisted advance into an Elise Cocoon. So, I think... Well, that's interesting. Quas positioned himself so he could get the hop bounce on him. I think if you're Dominate, you flash for this Cocoon. And you just force Dyrus' flash, because you can always just come back again. But, no, the range was good. It's just the timing was off. So this is miscommunication between the lanes.
covering. With that pink ward coverage, they for
round
sure
two.
have something.
See, Dominate could have started walking forward earlier. They just
See
didn't
if he
coordinate
can
this
get the
gank
hop off
very
the
well.
head. He does. Should have waited for the hop with the CC down, but they still go for the kill.
Quas was...
No twisted advance.
Dominate had to start moving out of that brush before Quas hit the twisted advance.
Unfortunate. Kind of.
Quas was the one who went in early, right there.
Dyrus using a jump to get out nice and
But
easy.
that's like the
Don't have no
easiest
trouble.
lane in the
Teleport
world to
still
gank for,
looking
so
him on the top
you really
side,
have
so
to
he's
be
gonna
able to
further
execute
up
on
the
that.
storm now, as he lost that health before he could go back. Bottom lane 48 to 50, pretty much even there. As like you said, Jap, both
Because if that cocoon lands, Dyrus' flash is
Good
definitely
advantage.
coming out, and even then you can probably flash and kill him under the turret.
Yeah,
But again,
interesting thing here,
Dominate didn't
still
have any
small advantage
items,
from the Team Liquid side,
so,
TSM lost.
right?
before he could go back. Get out nice and easy.
Oh, Dominate was the one with the items. He did have the
Yeah,
chilling smite. Never
interesting
mind.
thing here,
I was being silly.
still small advantages from the Team Liquid side lanes. I mean, TSM lost the top lane battle, the AD carry CS battle, so badly in game 1, but still pulled together with some nice team fighting and teamwork. This game, it's the start of a similar story. Quas, really with that CS advantage, just based off of the experience in the teleport game that was played early on, not to mention the return ganks from Alabama. It'll be interesting to see how Team Liquid can push this and if they can create similar advantages that they had in the previous game, despite not having as powerful laners in those lanes.
Bjergsen's still having the time of his life here, getting the auto attacks in whenever he needs his soldiers, so they don't have to worry about that.
You know, Phoenix is actually doing pretty well in this lane matchup. Actually, he's not falling too far behind. He's not taking severe chip damage on his turret. It's definitely going decently for him for a victor. The fact that he's remained even is pretty good.
He's going to maybe head towards the top side here. Blue buffs up. Looks like he's actually going to turn around and grab that one for
This
himself.
may start to be a
So
problem.
again, very
The fact that
slow
Nara's already
early
behind.
game.
Of course, Nara's really going to hit the
Charge
first
up
like
late
nice
rest.
power spike once he
Really
actually
intense safe.
completes the Hex Drinker in lane, so that'll be his time to catch back up. Start taking advantage.
Dominate has been so active on the map early in the game here, but
Okay.
he's yet to land a successful gank. Even so,
That's
Team Liquid
fine,
is
just
still
zone him
getting
off the
pressure
tower,
advantage
try and
out
take
of
the
this.
early turret and
This
push
is
it
one of those early
forward.
games where there's one jungler dedicated to farming, which is Santorn on Italy, somewhat common for an Italy if they just want to get to Roomblade very quickly, and the other jungler is
Okay.
spending most of his time
Nicely played.
arriving in lane. Definitely
Take the early
it's a key
turret.
part of Team Liquid.
With the Elise, they
First turret,
theoretically
CS lead.
could do
So,
an early dragon with
That, of
spiderlings.
course,
Okay,
success on
so they're
the
gonna do.
silver.
Good call.
first turret does translate into first dragon as well. For Team Liquid here, this should be
It's a
no
really
response
good,
from Team
really
Liquid.
good situation for
They're
TL.
already sending the duo
They're up
on
by
top.
1,000 gold. They get the first dragon. This is, remember how we talked about during picks and bans that it's really important for them, in particular, to start controlling this dragon early, because of the lack of hard engage on TSM, means that if they start to just convincingly control dragon for the rest of the game, TSM has no way to really pry it out of their grip.
6 or 15 on the clock as they go back for that. See if we get a push on top lane here. Squash back to the turret.
Yeah, and this is something that TSM actually did last game also. They swapped their duo first, and they actually left Dyrus in the lane until Turtle and Lesboy got there. Last time, they were able to chase down and kill, but not this time. Dyrus will go back down bottom lane. Bringing in the Nidalee range champion
Okay.
for extra pressure.
So they're
on the
trying to
turret.
use the
Quas
fast
initiates
push
on
here.
3 versus 3.
Glacial Fisher goes out. Quas's Vengeful Maelstrom trying to mid.
So after what happened in the bottom side, TSM reacts because they are zoned off the turret by sending Nidalee into lane with the Jinx. Of course, the Nidalee heal will increase the Jinx's attack speed, and they're trying just to answer for another turret by making a tricky rotation. But it's just not going to work. Piglet gets there with the Sivir ultimate, and they push it back. This is going to give some nice time for Dyrus to farm up a little bit, but it's still, the wave is still pushing back, so Quas will get enough. But Dyrus is evened up in terms of farm now, so that's nice. Wild Turtle's still lagging pretty far behind, though, and now he has to fight a Sivir who has a BF sword.
Much better drop than last game.
Oh, TSM kind of dug themselves into a hole early on in terms of their matchups, because this should be going better. The mid lane should be going better than it is for TSM. So a lot now is on Dyrus and how well he can punish the Maokai.
Still looking to hold that lead in the top lane. Much better.
I also think that this Merc Treads home guard first is not good. He doesn't have he has no form of sustain against a Gnar that's going to be constantly chipping him for damage with the boomerang and the auto attacks.
Season for him. A lot of deaths in the previous split. Only about 22 in the games this season. So definitely a change.
We'll see how it does, but now that Dyrus is starting to scale with attack damage, this item may be problematic. It's just much nicer to get the early catalyst.
Play style. The communication with the team has been a lot better. Him and Piglet, or I should say him and Xpecial, have been having much better lanes. You can see him here pressuring. Nice spell shield by Piglet there to keep that turret under fire in the top lane. Might have to pull a little bit of responsibility here.
I guess Quas's thought process is he's just going to constantly recall with his home guard boots and just heal up that way. And maybe, but he's just never really going to get a chance to sit in base and wait for a home guard teleport because Gnar is going to be constantly pressuring him now. But apparently they just want to give him some global gold through turrets and try and amp him up that way. Still doing fine in terms of CS. It's not terrible.
Another outer turret, 2-0 here.
Yeah. I mean, even the ward coverage is really lackluster for TSM, so that's one of the big reasons they're having to forfeit these turrets is because they're not having good advanced warning of where Team Liquid's going to be coming from, and they also can't prep plays of their own because they don't know how to outmaneuver Team Liquid.
So, Team Liquid definitely playing the map a lot better right now. I like what Dominate's doing. He's just going for turrets and moving the weaker early game. What Team Liquid has realized is that with the item advantage that Piglet has, that they can just take all the towers. So this is nice. Nice early play. Good use of an advantage from TL.
If they find somebody they can pick off, but it looks like with that hard hats on, everybody's going to keep it.
Phoenix still holding his own. They've got an early dragon, which is extremely helpful for their composition.
No chance to have that just yet.
But the control is so heavily on the side of Team Liquid. You would imagine that they can try and go for this next dragon. I mean, especially the fact that Wild Turtle's still up farming in that top lane. Basically got a BF sword and Arrows Blade on Piglet, but just a pickaxe on Wild Turtle. So Piglet is ahead in the farm game as well, getting a gold generation item as well as the big ticket first item.
This is really...
By the time the dragon comes, Wild Turtle...
This is not looking good for TSM.
But it's still just...
And I know TSM wins this game, so I'm very confused as to how it happens, because literally, Team Liquid with this kind of edge, all they have to do is just sit on Dragon for the rest of the game, and they will get 5 Dragon stacks, and TSM can't do anything.
Gold advantages in the early game, in back-to-back games here. Got gold advantages in the early game. Dominate, able to land a cocoon in his own jungle, but headbutted to safety, which just would have been a little bit of extra harass. It's not a big deal there.
Yeah. No taking down Braum that quick, especially at these levels.
There's no way to kill
Still
Braum there, so it doesn't really matter.
Across the board, obviously we're getting towards level 11, but we haven't seen too many ultimate fights just yet. Just a scuffle in the top.
Okay.
When that level 11 hits, definitely going to get powered up pretty well for these mid laners.
Why are you what? The spoiler alert. This is an analytic stream. We don't care about spoilers here. We're here to learn from the game. It doesn't matter who won or lost.
The ping came as well from Wild Turtle and Mustboy, so they may try to make something work here.
Yeah, especially with 2 turrets down. Notice the big difference in the way Quas plays Maokai this game versus Dyrus last game. Home guard's already on his Mercury treads. Team Liquid has a lead in...
This is interesting too. Going for the cowl is the next item. Really not going to help him. So I guess what we're saying, I mean, the cowl isn't going to help him in either of the side lanes because it's going to be Turtle or it's going to be Dyrus. And yes, I know Gnar has some of the magic damage, but if he goes something like Hex Drinker into Black Cleaver, Quas is just going to get his shit pushed in the entire game.
I'm really expecting Team Liquid to do some type of home guard teleport play and really take control of this game in about a minute when Dragon comes out.
And they already have deep wards in TSM's red side jungle to do it. So Quas already prepped, shoving the wave in top as well.
Okay, so he's going to go for Randuin's instead, Dyrus. So it's not going to be quite so punishing in terms of split pushing. I guess they really want to push this forward. So let's take a look at what happens around this dragon, because TSM, they've lost control of the bottom side. This should be a pretty easy dragon for Team Liquid. Quas needs to get his ass back to base so he can have a proper home guard teleport for when this spawns. If he's going to invest in these home guard boots early, he better actually do a nice teleport if there is going to be a team fight.
final playoff match. Both teams really want to be able to get that top spot. With Liquid's first year being this far up, I feel like that's more for them to lose. This is the chance they have to really make a mark for that brand, for that team.
So Quas actually is not sitting on Fountain to prep a teleport while the Dragon is being started. Instead,
Okay, Quas. If you... Okay, Dyrus is in Meganar right now, and he's not sitting there. Okay, Mininar? Okay, so they're not actually under that much threat.
TSM not
This is a pretty easy
anywhere
dragon,
near.
actually.
They have wards within their own jungle, so they know
They're just
TSM
trying to
best
push
go
top
for a
instead. As
steal.
soon as they see that up there, and try and steal it with the Jinx
Not
ult.
today.
Not gonna
You
work.
know what it was today? Not this game. That
It was only
Wild Turtle gets
less than an hour.
So,
ago, Matt.
take the top tower instead.
Very controlled by
Fine, I
But
guess.
it is successfully
Just,
transported.
it's the dragon stacking is just going to get absolutely out of
That
control.
aspect.
I really want to know the mistake that Team Liquid makes to break this situation, because they have so many edges. They went even in lanes they should have been losing. Bjergsen wasn't able to put down a lot of chip damage onto the mid lane turret, so that wasn't an issue either. So Victor's been able to hold the mid turret,
This time, as I said, it seems a little bit harder. As they can't find
and
the
they can
fight.
group mid for that last tower now if they want to.
Harder for TSM as it would.
It's all this is. TL has kind of dodged the point in the game where they had to be really worried.
Game 1, even though they had good CS advantages, they were getting out-rotated by TSM. This time, though, early double Sightstone coming out. Also, just tremendous wave clear. When you consider Sivir and Victor, those are, for their position, two of the best wave clearers, especially in the early game.
Definitely first in class.
Yeah, once Victor gets level 7, he can clear the back wave with 1 death rate. One of the few champions that can full clear a minion wave with a spell at level 7.
So we're just waiting right now to see. I mean, if you're TL, you just continue to sit here until for dragon after dragon after dragon and wave clear.
Now you look at that on the other side as well.
That's all you need to do.
Excellent wave clear.
Okay, so you're gonna try and dive Piglet.
Can throw out some
This is dangerous. There's the
soldiers.
TP coming up
Rockets
immediately.
from Wild Turtle, but I don't know about this fight. Wow, nice dodge by Piglet. The flash and the
So,
spell
here
shield
we go.
out. Are they going to be able to save him here? Piglet stays alive with
Yeah,
just a
it's
sliver
a
of
really
health,
dangerous
and they take
dive.
down Dyrus in a deep dive.
He actually
Flash and the spell shield out. Awesome.
So it was really well played by Piglet, though, to his credit. That was really nicely done. So good reaction. They see this coming from a mile away as well. They should. They have wards in the enemy jungle. They know what's going on. But if you're going to 5-man dive this turret right here, there's so many issues. There's a lot of crowd control that's going to be coming your way with the Maokai. Love how he plays this, just trying to go aggressive on the Wild Turtle and then turning back with the flash. Does get stunned, but Xpecial's the hero. Disrupts, he actually breaks the second stun there, coming in, so he cancels it. And then Piglet comes back, and they die. And Quas was busy holding the front line. That was a good dive.
actually survives there.
Dive
Xpecial,
repulsion,
the
I should say,
bodyguard
from
comes
Team
in
Liquid.
on Alistar to save the
Absolutely
day.
crazy.
Piglet also
And guess what? Victor's still full
fainting
HP,
down
so
out
good
and
luck
then
taking this
flashing
turret.
back above the turret.
Yeah.
What a great juke right there.
Held his summoner spell, or I'm sorry.
TL has
his
just
summoner as
acquired
well,
such a
even though he was
solid
super
early
that
game
extra
advantage here.
engage knowledge that he had. Knew he could go back in.
Great mechanics.
Really knowing the barriers of his champion.
Yeah, he was... I mean, Dyrus thought he was going to get the finishing blow after he crunched him into the wall right there. He just heals. Oh my god.
This auto attack was in progress. He had just started the animation.
And the next
Special
special hit him.
interrupts him.
Crazy stuff. Pushing the mid turret, Team Liquid get a lot of nice map control.
So a nice turnaround,
Easily
clear it
able to
out,
drop
get the
this
mid
one
turret.
down. A
This
little
is
bit of time
this
to
is
think about
such a
what
dream scenario for
next.
Team Liquid.
So the lead goes in
That
their
TSM was
favor.
unable
They
to
got it. They
take
hold on to
any
it.
of their
This is
early
the
game
time we got
advantages.
talking about.
Yeah, impromptu 5v5. TSM is there first, so they're the ones that are orchestrating the play. Everyone just goes into full peel mode. Piglet is so fast, and
Oh, he did get this.
He took the house too?
because that was a house in transit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he took the house and
What happened to the house?
and
Lucky.
comboed the auto attack. Special knockdown the house.
Great play. Definitely needed a replay, and we see how Piglet really got himself out with the help of his support. Again, that communication between those two much better coming out through the
So they've
split.
acquired a 3K gold lead, which is pretty, or 2.5K, which is pretty respectable pre 20
It
minutes.
still works. It's the simple words, right?
Dragon should be entirely theirs. They have
they still want to go
nice
bottom.
deep
They
wards
still
on the
want
bottom
this turret.
side,
I don't know if they're actually going to be able to
so
get
they
in
can
here.
continue to ward.
Boy figures he can get
The
a
wave
little
clear
bit
is
of
so
damage
good
on
for
Piglet
TL.
to finish that turret, but he takes a turret shot of his own, and they are once again forced off for their efforts. Now, not coming up with a turret in the bottom lane, they're going to have to figure out something else to do.
It's real dangerous for them to be pushed up there too because they have no turret behind them. So that was kind of their window in order to get that turret early. Boy's getting as many deep wards as possible. But he's in a...
He was very dangerous. There was no movement from Team Liquid. He could have been pinched by 3 members, but...
Oh, they stopped his recall.
Got the slow on him, too.
Nice. Can the Winter's Bite connect? It does. Spell Shield was on for something else to hit him. That follows through. The crowd controls there. A Javelin.
Why would you recall there?
Boy's getting as many deep wards as possible.
You have no idea if there's a ward in that brush. Really easy kill from TSM.
He could have been pinched by 3 members.
Nice reaction.
Oh, they stopped his recall.
Piglet also realized really late that his recall had been stopped. He was in shop right there.
Spell Shield was on for something else to hit him. That follows through. The crowd controls there. A
So they're going to lose a tower for that too. That really hurts.
Back with something. Somehow they find it. Team Liquid thought they had a pretty good lead and control of their own jungle, but that is never the case against TSM. Spikes being hit across the board and items. We have your Infinity Edges being built up. Piglet should actually have quite a bit of money to spend himself. Actually, he's not. He finished up his boots after that average plate, so that's where his money went. To Azil on the other side from the Wild Turtle. Looks like Santorin getting himself pretty big as well. The Abyssal Scepter to be finished up next. He's already at 300 gold on that completion. He'll start to be doing a lot of damage. Santorin's Nidalee has just come up so strong. And I remember interviewing back and saying, you know, why the Nidalee again? He's like, I always played Nidalee.
It's not the biggest deal, but having that turret up for the next dragon would have made a pretty nice advantage again for Team Liquid, because the wave would have been stopped. So there's a lot more flexibility in how TSM wants to prep vision around the next dragon as a result of that turret going down. And they have some good wards down.
Okay to bring damage from the jungle and tank threats and support threats from elsewhere.
Quas still has
also wanting to be
no HP.
That creates their own advantages rather than having him farm.
He's gonna go back. Dragon's live. He should just sit in Fountain right now with his home guards and wait for something to develop. But with the mid turret down, TSM shouldn't really be getting this priority. They should just focus on pushing up mid. So right here, Sivir pushes out the bottom side. Sivir has 2 people at the choke points. They have wards. They know that people aren't in the jungle. Sivir can move into the mid lane to push this out and then come back onto the dragon. Sivir is not doing anything right now. And the wave is already pushed. So you need to start getting an angle. Instead of just standing here in a useless arc in your own jungle that allows TSM just to walk in here.
Team Liquid is already up 2 dragons to 0, so this 3rd dragon is actually very critical. Unlike game 1, 5 dragons would be a potential win condition for Team Liquid. TSM, though, with some ward coverage, Quas this time is sitting on the fountain for a teleport.
Okay, pull the trigger.
Team Liquid looking for the play.
They have a nice tri-brush ward that could be used here, but
Phoenix is so far away, though.
Quas is patient. He's just sitting on the fountain.
The setup for that from TL is so bad. They're incredibly indecisive. They're not grouped together.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, they still have the engage. They can still fight this 100%.
He's so far away. It's the tri-brush. It's going to be a long fight.
Home guards in. He's going to be in there. Shurima tries to divide him out.
Where is...
I don't think this one's going to work for Team Solo Mid to get any more engages on. A bit of a scuffle back and forth in the beginning, but even trying to assess that one. Team Liquid with Shurima.
Where did Quas come in?
Oh my gosh.
And then the home guard TP will come
Phoenix
in.
is still split.
There it is.
He's so far away. It's
Oh, he TP'd to try. Oh, okay. So
the tri-brush. It's going to be a long fight.
problem is he's late because... Oh, Chaos Storm used early here. Let's take a look and see what happens. So Quas is in the back line. Who does he Twisted Advance?
And he's going to be in there.
He should not have Twisted Advance Wild Turtle either. He should have gone on to Bjergsen.
Team Solo Mid to get any more engages on. A bit of a scuffle back and forth in the beginning.
We'll check that out. I think they'll probably have a replay of it. So we'll watch it in slower. The whole setup was really bad from TL though. They just let TSM walk into the river, get a bunch of wards in. They weren't prepared at all. They didn't prep the waves well. Nothing was done well.
the outer 3.
And giving up that dragon is absolutely huge for them. No need to do that.
Find what he wants here. TSM got caught quite a few times here by Gravity in their games when they played in the quarterfinals. Or semifinals, I should say.
Okay, apparently we're not going to see a replay of that, so now we have to go back.
Small wins inside the
in the beginning, but home guards, and he's going to be in there.
Would start the dragon.
Oh my gosh.
And then the home guard TP will come in.
Phoenix is still split.
There it is.
He's so far away. It's the tri-rush. It's going to...
So the setup really wasn't there. Special goes in, and let's see. So it was on to Wild Turtle there, and Bjergsen knocks him off. I think though if you if you go onto Bjergsen here, maybe you don't get knocked off from the Azir, but it's a little hard to tell. Regardless, it was nice. It was well kited out by TSM, but the engage was not really well prepped. The timing was off. You had the Alistar coming in first, and then the Maokai coming in later. But mostly this fight, the team fight doesn't really matter. It was mostly just the prep and the fact that TSM was even allowed to get into the river in the first place that was the problem.
Inside the blue quadrant of Team Liquid's jungle, be there immediately to get a lot of harass down onto Dominate and poke out TSM, or poke out Team Liquid.
Yeah, for all the time investment of that.
But basically, X-Special went in, had Flash Headbutt pulled, there was no follow-up CC and no follow-up damage immediately, so they got a bunch of free hits onto the Alistar, and then once that crowd control was gone, it was really easy for TSM to disengage. But they did the right thing, they kited it out. Protected the back line, it's fine. It's just that TL, they had to set up better for that dragon and just commit to sitting there and doing it. Because TSM doesn't really have an answer to that. Again, they have no engage, so it would be very hard for them to actually make a play onto the dragon if TL was the one starting it instead.
Making sure he's clearing wards with that upgraded trinket. Cannot find what he wants here. TSM got caught quite a few times here by Gravity in their games when they played in the quarterfinals. Or semifinals, I should say. There's a kill, though. Dominate's able to repel.
Good pick. That's part of the strength of this composition, is the pick potential that it has, and they're going to keep playing for towers, which is what TL has been doing well this game. Dive on the turtle, easily done. Dyrus, kill Dyrus. Kill Dyrus. Okay, now kill the turret.
And Team Liquid get a nice hit onto Turtle there. We'll see what they can do after this. Midway
good job.
Centered, nothing to push in the bottom, so
well played by TL. They get a couple kills for free. They get a turret. They're back on track now.
They go exactly where Liquid, and it was successful.
Looking a lot stronger this game. Liquid gets to figure that out this time.
Got all the necessary wards down. They're going to try and check Baron right down to make sure that TSM isn't doing it, since they don't have vision on the objective itself. TSM is going to take a very risky walk into the jungle of TL, but they get away with it.
If they're able to rely upon the Azir and Jinx being safe towards one of these mid-game team fights, then they will be able to make it up if they are able to get control of the map. Liquid do not want to let them have it.
Aged.
I don't think we're going to see anything until the next dragon, honestly.
Wild Turtles moments last game still can happen just...
Because Team Liquid has been able to dodge these team fights. And if we're looking at which team has a better team fight composition, it is definitely Team Liquid this time. They have much more crowd control, reliable damage dealers, strong front line. So they also even have the better flank potential with the home guard Maokai. They're going for Turtle again. He has both summoners.
Okay.
There's a flash. Oh, he was trying to time it, but X-Special waited it out.
So smart there from X-Special. Most people would immediately go for the good-looking.
But they can continue to make these plays because they have total vision control over the enemy jungle. Piglet's in a pink ward, so he's able to get the necessary speed onto the Alistar. Alistar has Mobies. So Turtle just can't get away from this in time with the two different speed boosts. This is a nice gank from TL. Again, there's not enough information there for Turtle. You can't walk near that tri-brush if there's that potential. And you don't have a ward in it.
Spreading themselves thin here to continue keeping themselves in the game, or at least stay constant. Turtle farm it alone. It's been picked off twice now by Team Liquid in the same spot. And that time he did not have a second-tier turret to hide behind, so it was that much easier. Liquid's in the right spot at the right time.
Much success. Even the Victor pick. He has been
Okay,
able to
so back
out-pressure
to our
Bjergsen.
nice
This
little
mid lane, Bjergsen has been
dragon baiting a
kind of
minute in
taking
advance.
his round
TL actually
out
setting up
away
a lot better
from
this
the
time,
waste
getting the
of
wards in,
meaning
and trying to
giving his
maintain
team a little bit
control
of
over
buffer
this river,
to go in
so
and
they're not in the same situation. They still have mid turrets, so again, Team Liquid should be able to secure this.
They're not going to go for it this time, but that pink ward has been there. Quite some time here.
So they're just going to defend mid right now with the Sivir. Victor
It's actually
should...
interesting. There's been a couple of those
do they have to
deep
deal with that?
pink wards,
No,
and
they don't.
this
They don't have to.
game's
It's pushing
game,
out
one lost ward
naturally.
placed one in the bottom lane lasted about 10 minutes. This game again looks like the support placed it on the opposite side of the map. This could be a new ward that is emerging in North America from scrims potentially.
Think about that teleport as well.
They should also be checking it.
How often do you run in that brush when you're not, or just trying to not dive away from somebody? Just walk by it. Like this one. It's only become recent that people check this brush, the pixel brush now. That was walked by for millions of years.
Okay, we're just waiting. Just waiting. This is slow pushing out, so Team Liquid doesn't have to do anything about this. TL just needs to keep on wave clearing the mid and pushing it forward and waiting for this wave.
No roam really from the mid laners here have caused too much trouble for anybody, if any. Looks like it's gonna come up to the next dragon for the next fight.
Maybe it's not slow pushing. It's really hard to tell. We can't get a look at that. If only I had a replay so I could just click over here and look and see if it's moving in a specific direction.
There's the TP top side, one's to mid lane.
There we
Quas
go.
is quite far away, but he has the flank. That's going to be onto Turtle. A lot of crowd control there. Turtle is trying to get himself out with hardly any peel right now, and 3 members are on to Quas. He is controlling this fight for the team, but can the team kill Dyrus? No, they can as he gnars out. He's just too big.
It looked like Dyrus just zoned out the world in that fight. Team Liquid did not follow Quas through after their dragon. It is a dragon advantage, but
They're gonna lose 2 turrets for this. Jeez.
And Quad.
Where's the replay of that fight?
Special starts it off going
here we
straight
go.
for the back line.
It was such a close fight. This actually makes it through. One death rate gets 3 kills. This that type of huddling can be so devastating.
Special starts it off.
3 kills.
So let's take a look at this setup. Just going to TP here, and Dyrus is TPing here. So let's see if Special goes early again. So they take this.
Close fight.
Special wants to go in. Flash headbutt pulls again. Okay? But Dominate's nowhere close. Phoenix is nowhere close. Piglet is nowhere close. So Phoenix has to flash forward just to get damage down. This is such an overcommitment when it comes to summoner spells. Dyrus is here, he's tied up, but he's about to go Meganar and get a very easy ult into this wall right here.
The cleanse and flash out of
So, again, this was... Did I don't think TL even had to fight here.
Gets 3 kills. This was such a close
Yeah, you don't. You just run at them.
fight.
So there it is.
I think the misplay here is that you have Sivir ultimate. You're already moving faster with Special. He's going to close that gap no matter what. So just don't use Flash. Just straight up run at them. Dyrus is alone right here. You know Quas is going to be tying up the backline already. So just try and go after Dyrus. You can't just ignore him. Because instead, Phoenix flashes into a position where Dyrus is like 100% going to fuck him up. It was a good ult by Lustboy, too. I mean, it nails Phoenix right after he ults. Or right after he flashes. And then the traps are there, too. This is a really good kiting composition from TSM. If the way to beat Kite is to attack their front line, right? If they're going to kite you out, you have more speed, you have more engage, and you have Quas already well positioned in the back line. If Quas is here, look how long Quas lives through all of this. If they had just targeted Dyrus instead, no problem. What items does Dyrus have right now? So, I mean, it looks like he has a Randuin, so he has some armor, but Piglet should be able to deal with that, honestly. And the Victor Burst is still so insane. I think you just blow up the Gnar if you can. It's a hard call, though.
For the back line. They immediately get the cleanse and flash out of
TSM did do a good job of
follows
kiting.
on to Turtle.
But
That's the damage.
if they had just attacked Dyrus instead and not set themselves up by blowing summoners to get in range of the
Phoenix in a double stun.
Dyrus there.
of the
just
ult,
massive.
Yeah, that's the change.
then
It was tank for
Quash
tank,
should be able
but
to
he
survive
was able
long
to shut
enough
down
and they can
full
clean up the
damage.
fight.
And save his hop to escape. So
That's a good call.
huge frontline play there.
Dyrus.
One-man frontline from Dyrus.
He's been stepping up his game. He said he wanted to play League of Legends, and he took it into his own hands, that's for sure. Quas only going to take a bit
But
of side
TL just
damage
looking
here
a little
from
bit
Dyrus,
uncoordinated
and
on their
Quas gonna
engages
end
this
soon.
game so far.
Actually,
They're not, their
Dyrus is a bit
timing
of
is
trouble.
off.
Phoenix making sure they're not going to get flanked out. They have the wards to tell them that, but it seems like they're going to go for it anyways. Just a wet noodle fight for that bot lane.
Rather risky right there. As we see Phoenix uncharacteristically walk through the jungle without farming. I do want to kind of point out an interesting stat we found while we were preparing for this one. Never mind, fight in the mid lane, Severall.
Going to be on a Lust Boy. Glacial Fisher is up. He can try to put the defense in. He jumps over to Santorin, trying to dodge out the skill shots, and it looks like they get to safety. So
Ugh, this game is so
Top laner
boring.
With teleport right now as well. So a bit of a dicey game.
well, they're having fun in the bot lane. Back and forth there. Had TSM had wards, when Quas and Dyrus were fighting and they saw Phoenix, they might have grabbed Baron there. So, interesting plays here. Team Liquid kind of putting themselves in a dangerous situation. Team Liquid or Team TSM, however, is now starting to get that Baron control. Possibly control onto Piglet. He gets himself out. Glacial Fisher is missed.
So quick on his feet right there, flashing and juking pretty much everything. That he was caught out of position.
All the way for clear here, so no chance of taking the turret, just pushing up the waves.
But he ends up burning a Braum ultimate for his flash. It still makes a clean escape, which is pretty impressive. It's Baron pressure and area.
It's impressive that TSM has been able to get in this many deep wards in this game, despite not really, up until this point, ever having true control over the minion waves. It seems like Team Liquid should have been able to capitalize off of that more if they were set up better.
Making it so Team Liquid did not have to go base check there. Santorin does eventually see it expire.
Not even there
Where's the
yet.
dragon?
They're still back and forth.
Dragon!
That's the completion on his Bloodthirster, so
Yeah.
pretty important amount of defensive statistics.
Okay,
Frontline
nobody's
for Team
dead.
Liquid becoming
Wards are at
more
Baron.
threatening now, too. Plus
Minute
right
35.
to actives. This
Team Liquid falling super behind in terms of wards.
TSM do have to be very careful. Keep
Glad to see that they made an adjustment and Dominate is the one with the Aegis this game, and we have an actual useful item like Roach's Glory on 2x Special.
Earlier on in the split, so much of that had to do with disputes between Dominate and the rest of the team about who would be the carry.
Piglet
They've
still
actually
doesn't
made this
have
solved
any.
in kind of an interesting way. So for post
It doesn't
15
have
minute
any
jungle CS, Dominate is
armor
actually the
pen
lowest
yet.
of all junglers in NA.
Just a
Because
couple
Piglet
of
is
BF
actually
sword
the
items,
highest of all
and
AD
there's
carries for
kind
teams
of a
teams jungle after
kind of
the
a
defense. Basically, Dominate
large
is
amount of
farm
armor on
the
Dyrus
jungle
and
farm
Santorin right
to the
now.
two
That may
Koreans
prove
on his team.
problematic.
Quas doesn't farm the jungle either.
But the
So
shield
they're
is nice to block some
it's
of the
interesting too,
poke coming out of the
that's a very
poke comp,
Korean
so
style
it's not the
of
end of the
jungle
world.
Farming as well. The
Yeah.
jungler is more of a support, whereas the carries
Right.
get to take that jungle. What I like about Team Liquid is Dominate farms hard enough in the early game that he hasn't necessarily been relegated to a full supportive role, and it's worked nicely for Team Liquid.
You can see the same thing almost
Okay,
happening
we're going to
last
go
split
over
when they were
and try and
both trying
take
to
this
go for the
dragon.
jungle.
Now,
CS
TL has
would still be in
the
jungle.
priority on
Still
it.
be
They're
in
in the river once
Not
again.
gonna
This
get
is
much
how
out
they
of
should
that
be
when
playing it.
everybody's trying to farm.
They should just
Feel a
start it
lot more of
immediately.
everybody being together and ready
Start,
for
start,
dragon
start, start,
number
start,
5
start.
of the game.
Do
will
it.
equal 4
Do it. No!
for Team
Just
Solid.
do the dragon. You have the speed shrine. Okay, you have the speed shrine. You have a Maokai set up. Ward here, ward here, ward here. Just do the dragon.
Put a big timer
They
on the
cannot
game
poke
for
you off of
TSM
it
to
fast
stop
enough.
Aspect.
Oh,
Liquid
Dyrus
could
charging up.
really get an
Okay,
upper
they
hand
can
here.
wait for the
Dyrus
Mega Gnar.
charging.
This is an option that
See,
they
Quas
have, but they're going to
actually
take
putting
more
on the
poke
base
damage in the
Team Liquid just wants
meantime.
to withstand the
Yep.
Mega
And now
Gnar.
Bjergsen's on the
They
turret.
mid lane turret. We've seen this song and dance a few times before. Neither of the team fights have
Wow.
resulted in many.
You're going to see Quas at
Do they know Bjergsen was there?
Put a big timer on the game for TSM to have to stop Aspect.
Okay, they see him.
Charging up.
Really get an upper hand
They
here.
see him
Dyrus
pushing up.
charging. You're going to see
There was still a minion there.
for Team Liquid. That would put a big timer
There are
on
minions
the
there
game
when he
for
gets into
TSM to
lane.
have to stop
They
Aspect.
know he's not there.
Liquid
Just
Dyrus
do
charging
the
up. Really get
dragon.
an upper hand here. Dyrus charging.
There's no way Bjergsen can get into a fight. They have a ward right here to teleport onto, where Quas can totally zone Bjergsen out of this. Instead, they just give up a turret. Instead of going for the dragon, which they need to get right now.
We've seen this song and dance a few times before. Either of the team fights have resulted in many kills.
Okay, well now they just lost the turret. Maokai's no longer...
So now Team Liquid could...
Okay, no Mega Gnar, that's the advantage. So, you gonna get the dragon?
Where's the attack gonna come from? It should just be dragon number 4. That was taken by Piglet. Xpecial taking a lot of damage on the front line, even with that Unbreakable Will on, but they're still throwing DPS into him. Surprise, Team Liquid has not been able to find a target to fight back on. Everything is in retreat right now. TSM's able to just...
You just take the dragon, and then you walk away. You're playing into their kite composition through all this ridiculous... Okay, Quas, where is he?
Great play for them rotating, but that costs the
pushes the wave.
So now Team Liquid could... They've actually forgone their...
He doesn't even need to TP. He can just walk over.
Home guard. This is a non-home guard teleport.
Where's the attack
He can just walk here.
gonna come from? It should just be dragon number 4. That was taken by Piglet. Xpecial taking a lot of damage on the front line, even with that Unbreakable Will on, but they're still throwing DPS
It's just these
into
split
him.
calls around the
Surprise,
dragon,
Team Liquid
so
has not been able to find a target to fight back on. Everything
engage
is in
after
retreat
you
right
take
now.
the dragon. The
TSM's
TP was
able to
early.
fight
Everything
outside
about
their
Quas,
range.
what Quas has been doing in this game from that gank has been early. The communication just hasn't been there from Team Liquid. Which is, you know, what we expect from TL, really, but it's disappointing.
And TSM rotate up to Baron.
Great block of the laser there by Lustboy. Phoenix is getting pretty low. They don't want to give up this Baron, but they give up so much in the dragon fight.
And ulti
Ult
combo.
over the wall. Look at that Victor damage.
Bjergsen, Lustboy very low. Small heals can come in from Santorin, but he can't save everybody. Phoenix just dodging. Nice guy blocked by Dominate to save Phoenix life there.
So TSM is going to lose their tier 2 right now.
Of the Baron,
Off of a very questionable Baron. They thought they could do it because the TP was down and Quas was dead, but that's really optimistic. They should have known that the Victor ult was still up.
This game just keeps building and building with the dragon stacking up. Every dragon comes at a cost for
Okay. All he has to do is stand here. So if Quas, instead of TPing, just runs into this brush, there's only two options. Okay, TL gets the dragon. If TSM moves forward, then he gets a free Twisted Advance onto the backline. Instead, they're still burning down the dragon. He comes in at 1500 HP. They take it, but by that time, Jinx is doing a lot of damage. Quas is just absolutely shit on. And they block the laser. Lustboy blocks the laser with Unbreakable. And that's it. Just easy kiting from TSM. TSM played that properly. All they have to do is wait for TL to make mistakes on their engages. And in a way, from what we've seen from TL previously, because TL is a team that loves to go 1-by-1 into a team fight and just die. We've seen that repeatedly from them throughout the regular season. Playing kite comps into TL is just a good plan because they never have the coordination to actually engage well.
Sleeps out. He'll be safe for now. We did have Bjergsen just on the top side, ready to clear this. If TSM, if they back up into the jungle, TL still has vision. Don't know if they're going to fully want this. Still, Team Liquid, their engages look very back and forth. Maybe miscommunication. They do want this one, though. Dyrus might be able to save himself as he nars 3 people against the wall, but there's still too much damage from Team Liquid. That's one pickup, but they're still quite afraid of
Jeez,
right
getting caught out right there.
Down the mid lane.
There's no follow-up possible.
Miscommunication there. Dyrus actually defensively flashing out, but then re-engaging, and none of TSM following up. That means Team Liquid went straight for the inhibitor.
Yeah, the
for free? The dream?
That's the fight for Team Liquid based off of a TSM miscommunication and a mistake.
No, why? Why are you leaving?
Yeah, the Azir.
There's 30 seconds. Azir ult is down. You still have Chaos Storm. Why are you such a pan? Just put a Chaos Storm down. If they walk forward, just Gravity Field and put a Chaos Storm down. You still have Unbreakable. You can walk up all day on this. If you have Alistar ult and you have the Victor ult up, there's no way that TSM can defend this. Quas is still near full HP. There should be no problem on taking this inhibitor right here. Just walk up. You have the zones you need. You have Maokai, you have Alistar with ult, you have Victor with ult and Gravity Field. That is the freest of the free, especially because they can't get you off of it. They lack the Azir ult.
It's the fight for Team Liquid based off of a TSM miscommunication and a mistake. There were a few of those in the first game. They extended that one for TSM, but this time, the timer for Team Liquid's 5 Dragons is much closer, and opening the door to the TSM base is huge.
The positioning that Team Liquid has also set themselves in made that so easy to capitalize on. We saw the same thing last game.
No one's going to bother to clear out this wave, I guess.
They basically got nothing off of that except for the outer turret, though. This time it's an inhibitor because the game was already put in position that they could get that.
Yeah.
Definitely thinking about the next steps before they do something and engage.
I'm really fascinated by this game as it approaches the 5th Dragon because this game actually fulfills a lot of the requirements needed for a team to get 5 Dragons and still lose the game. Because the goal is very close. Also, the first Dragon by TSM will still give them that 6% of gold statistics leading up to it. And also the fact that every Dragon that Team Liquid has gotten has come at a cost. So they are selling themselves out to get those 5 Dragons. If they sell themselves out for the 5th Dragon, maybe that fight goes even more poorly. Dragon doesn't give you any defensive statistics, so if they're putting themselves in auto-win in this situation...
Okay, looks like we're going to be waiting for next Dragon, unless somebody does something incredibly dumb.
Team solo mid, out in mid, feeling comfortable. A few forward wards, just setting things up, waiting for a mistake, or waiting for a play that they can make here. On to Phoenix, he made
Oh, somebody going to do something dumb?
Bjergsen on his ear towards the late game.
Teleport from Dyrus way inside the jungle. They're going for the flank.
Okay, surprise flank. Dyrus near full
hit onto Phoenix. He may be too
rage. Okay, gets an ult. He's still the only one there.
He's going to be able to stand there
That's impressive. He killed Phoenix.
4 members of Team Liquid, 5 members of Team Liquid, but one has already gone down, and Dyrus walks out. So
that was a nice engage by Dyrus, it turns out.
A nice ultimate in. It divides the entire team of Liquid, and they get taken down surgically by Team Solo.
There's the Baron. Hilarious. All right, how did he even get in there?
Teleport from Dyrus way in.
Okay, they don't have any deep wards, but this is a big difference between the engages we've seen previously. So Dyrus gets a nice engage off, and then that's a good ult that he hit too into the brush. When did Piglet use his ult?
Teleport from Dyrus way inside the jungle. They're going for the flank.
Going to be a hit on.
He uses it pretty fast.
Way inside the jungle. They're going for the flank.
Going to be a hit.
And this isn't really necessary. This isn't misplayed either. Phoenix is just cutting off the choke point. He knows everybody's coming in. So getting that ultimate off really works well for them. And they're able to get the Azir soldiers and the extra knock up into the flank and the rocket. That's a really good engage from TSM. It's really nicely done. You see, this is the difference between the TL engages, where there was actually follow-up, whereas the Team Liquid team fights were just like one person going in and then dying, and there was no actual damage coming in. So for a comp with very limited engage, TSM timed this really well. Not only that, but they got the Gnar, they got the rage of Gnar up, got him into Fountain for a home guard flank. It was good, well played.
He's going to be able to stand there toe-to-toe with 4 members of Team.
And then here's the dumb part. TL, after Victor dies, and remember, Victor didn't use ult here. After Victor dies, you can't re-engage into a choke against a Jinx and a Azir. This is terrible. Do you like AoE rocket crits and 3 sand soldiers? Apparently Quas does. You just have to let Victor die and get the fuck out of there.
The rest of the damage. A nice ultimate in. It divides the entire team of Liquid, and they get taken down surgically by Team Solo Mid without even being able to re-engage the fight on their own terms.
One teleport to decide it for TSM. Dyrus comes
and
in.
Phoenix didn't flash.
Great combination.
That's another problem. Actually, you know what?
For the on his ear towards the late game.
That's actually the biggest problem. Oh, his flash wasn't up at the time.
They're going for the flank.
It's down right now.
Onto Phoenix. He may be too far.
If he had that flash, that was really close to it being up though.
toe with 4 members of Team Liquid, 5 members of Team Liquid, but one has already gone down, and Dyrus walks out, so the team can
Yeah, it comes up right now. That sucks
on their own
for him.
terms.
One teleport to decide it for TSM. Dyrus comes in. It was a great combination. Turtles, Super Mega Death Rock.
That's a really good
That fight,
engage from TSM, though.
manages Rage so well coming into that one.
Crazy.
And you can tell it really caught Team Liquid off guard because you wait 40 minutes and suddenly you have this fast Gnar coming into you. Also that deep ward, I'll have to see how that got there because it's a brilliant ward. Gets the Gnar. That tiny little wall is what Phoenix ends up walking into.
Let's answer Jet's question. How did it get there? How did that ward get in there? Remember, I was talking earlier that TSM was letting wards into their jungle and not punishing them for overextending. Where did that come from?
If they
Four in his ear and a jinx in a fight.
Yep, it was a
Okay.
sacrifice.
Game of 37 out of 5.
Because of Phoenix play at Baron Pit.
So I just did a deep warding missions, Lost Boys ward. And it wasn't cleared out.
Be based off of a team. If they sell themselves out
Now,
by
here's the
pricing-
problem we run into. If that inhibitor was down, let's talk about if that inhibitor had been taken when they could have quite easily taken it.
I'm really
This time it's an inhibitor
With Dyrus
because
down
they
for
can't-
30 seconds. Let's think about how that could have gone differently.
and opening the door.
So if there were super minions right now, this would have been pushing down this way, right?
This time it's
So TSM is still pushing out.
Because this game actually fulfills a lot of the requirements needed for a team to get the fact that every dragon
And okay, so the Azir turret's gonna go down, then the recall's coming in. Dyrus is just gonna be stacking out, or stacking up his rage on the bottom side.
You're always disengaged with 5 dragons.
But probably this would have been slightly more difficult. There's enough damage to kill super minions pretty quickly, so actually I don't think it would have changed this play at all.
That one,
I think it would have ended up the same.
That tiny little wall is what Phoenix ends up walking into. He probably should have flashed away to preempt that.
It's just
Because
the
Phoenix got
worst
zeroed
part
out
about
before
this
that, it
fight
allowed Team
is
Solo
that
a somewhat
they
inferior
just
team fighting
walked
team
into
to
a
get
choke
the
point
team
right
fight
afterwards
positioning.
and lost
When
their
you have
tank,
Mega
which
Gnar
means that it
and
was
Azir
really
in
easy
that
for
window, they can have the strength
TSM to
and
just
get it
kill
take
everybody
out
after that.
the victor. What a massive swing in this game, and it also synchronizes with this dragon that they now are contesting.
Oh, Dyrus goes minion, gets chunks, but so does Piglet.
That ward you were questioning, chat, was just the Dyrus now sticks with the team. This dragon is on the table. They want to make
This build from Victor is problematic. He does not have a Void Staff yet. So we saw the late Last Whisper and then the lack of Void Staff, so they're going to have a really, really hard time killing Dyrus.
Dragon number 5 is staved off once more.
I don't agree with
The
this.
second
I don't
one
understand the
Team Solo
echo.
mid here in the game.
The
We'll
Luden's echo
continue
is
with
not
that
good
option
here.
on the table for Team Liquid, but again, Team Solo mid
Deathcap
in the
Void
late
Staff
game
is
getting very, very strong.
significantly stronger. Rylai's is good.
304 for both.
Rylai's does give you some really nice kiting ability with Victor.
To the play from the teleport. which
But
was all set
to
up
be
by
42
a
minutes
deep
in
ward
and to
from
have
Rusboy.
only an Abyssal Scepter for the flat penetration is just... It's not going to help
No
you.
reason, just a solo mission. Felt like going in, and so playing it very, very
Small.
So TSM gets the dragon, and that's going to be about it for TL probably, because now they
You're absolutely right. These games have been
are
so
behind in
close,
gold.
neck and
Maybe
neck
they can make
between
a
TSM.
sick
This one definitely
inhibitor
goes
play.
as well. Already past.
some 5-man crazy team fight ultimate. 50 minutes into
Literally the last 3 games have been a spectacular play by the Azir in
Yeah.
the last team fight. We are kind of set up for that to happen again.
He
So
did
Zero
one
boosts
already.
towards his items. That's
Yeah.
the third. Yeah.
Oh! I felt guard out, so just kind of camp out here on this side of Team Liquid. Top side of the map. There's the ultimate from Sivir. Piglet gonna go in, but still stay on the back. Try to help
Oh, they got the oops.
team.
Closed on a
Ross in
turtle.
a very good
That was
spot
nice.
out here on this side of Team Liquid. Top
So-
side of the map.
They recognize that Baron falls off. So Baron falls off, right?
Forward here by Team
TSM
Solo
is
mid.
still going to be
Definitely
sieging, so
shows
this is
they
a
feel
chance for
they
Team
are
Liquid to
just
get back
kinda
into the
camp
game.
out here on this side of
And
Team
finally,
Liquid.
they're gonna get a nice TP in.
Top side of the map. There's
And this is a mistake by TSM. They split
ultimate
really
front
hard
saber
right
Piglet.
here.
Gonna go in, but still
Wild
stay on the
Turtle just has no
And try to
chance. He's
help the
way too
team.
far away from the rest of his team. Gets bursted
Very
down.
good spot. Turtle goes down.
And there's the zero
Bjergsen's
ultimate.
ultimate completely to disengage the fight. They flash over the wall. They want the chase here. I don't think Phoenix is going to be able to catch on this
I don't
one.
think you can
They're
catch
gonna
that
go
as
back
zero.
towards the down, or back down to try and grab Dyrus. Only
What can they do with it though? Are they going to go kill the inhibitor?
And unless your entire model is over top of the soldiers when you flash in, you get
Can you
bounced
please go
back.
kill the
So
inhibitor?
basically, there was the front of the wall that Quas tried to
See
go
it
in
right
on.
here.
We'll see it as it gets to the play. The rest of this replay, slightly missed initiation by Team Liquid, but they still close on a Wild Turtle, which gets them the kill. And then watch the way this Azir wall goes into the terrain. There's 2 Sand Soldiers right behind it, so Quas flashes into the second one, and it knocks him all the way over.
Phoenix does it right.
If that
That's
hadn't
brutal.
been placed just like that, Quas would have probably picked up Bjergsen, and that would be both carries down on TSM.
And the other big thing that's terrible for Team
Why?
Liquid
I don't
after that
understand
is
why they
TSM,
don't just
already
walk
took the
into
teleport
the
play
naked
first, and they
inhibitor. So they
Quas would
have
probably picked up
how
Bjergsen,
long?
and
What?
that would be
40
both
seconds?
gonna go in here. I
Oh,
don't
excuse me,
think Phoenix is gonna be
63
able to catch
seconds.
on
We've
this
reached
one.
max
They're
death
gonna go back
timers.
towards the down.
You again. You know Azir wall is down. You still have Chaos Storm up. Can you please
Or back down to try and grab
send
Dyrus.
one
Only
person
one
to
kill
clear
there.
the wave? You
Quas
basically
got hosed
walk
right here.
here,
Like, I understand
delete
why the
this wave. You don't
interaction
even have to
happened. I
wait
need
for the
explain
minions
this
to
because
walk
it looked
up.
really strange.
Delete
When
it so it
the
doesn't
Azir
push
uses
forward and your
ultimate,
minions will
the
push forward
soldiers
and then
follow
walk
the
into the
terrain. So
base.
it's
They should have
potential to
time to
two
do that
soldiers
before Turtle
directly
comes
behind
up.
each other, and unless your entire model is over top of the soldiers when you flash in, you get bounced back. So basically, there was the front of the wall that Quas placed just like
or play first, and they already took all the objectives off the map. So even after that big win for Team Liquid, getting to the backline carries, getting the correct home guard teleport, and taking down Turtle, there's nothing for them to gain afterwards.
Yeah, Solomid always setting themselves up to do something. That time, like you said, not less and less now as Team Solomid figures out how that composition is trying to work around them. And right now, it's just to press R on Piglet. Hope they are in. Team Liquid has really any way.
All right,
to
where's
stop
the
it.
apocalyptic
Team Solomid approaching
5th
this
dragon
right
fight
now.
that's gonna
1 minute
happen?
on to Dragon. That's obviously going to be a big option
Oh.
here.
they're just going to run around the wall.
Yep, not going to do much. They're on to Lustboy, however. Glacial Fisher comes out. The teleport from Dyrus is just going to be behind the team. Does not look like they'll be able to get much out of it. Oh, doggy!
That's
Taking
2
down the
deaths
cow.
now. 60-second death time.
Going to be behind the
Okay,
team.
so
Big option.
they use Piglet's ultimate, right? Immediately
Oh,
Bjergsen's
here.
ult comes out. I've got an idea. Perhaps we should push up the mid lane.
They're just going to run
No,
around
let's
the
get
wall.
into a choke
Not gonna
again.
do much. They're on to Lustboy,
Yep,
however.
great.
Glacial
Great
Fisher
plan.
comes out. The
Just
teleport
funnel into
from
a choke.
Dyrus is just going to be behind the team. Does not look like they'll be able to get much out of it. Oh, doggy!
That's
Taking
2
down the
deaths
cow.
now. 60-second death timers with objectives coming up in 50 and 45. I wonder.
TSM is just getting their way in terms of every single team fight they're kiting, which is what their composition is designed to do. And instead of just getting all of their ults out and then just rushing an objective, they do this shit instead.
It's going to cost them a lot of their base.
Especially the farther lane from Baron, that bot lane now.
They should just be happy that they traded a Zero ult for a Sivir ult and then walk to the naked inhibitor. Dyrus was split pushing, sure, but as long as he's split pushing, he can't stop you from taking the inhibitor, and you're just gonna win that. You're just gonna win that.
Already pushed up into Team Liquid's base. Yeah, TSM can set up and gain vision control around Baron really easily. So.
Oh look. Okay, okay, Dyrus, turret, inhibitor, no Azir wall. Look at this zone. You're not getting past this shit.
The wall.
It's good ult by Lustboy. Let's walk into Nidalee Spears and
slow.
Glacial Fisher. And Expressial pops his ult too late. And then there's a TP coming in here from Minar.
They close them off.
The gravity field doesn't matter because he hops immediately. And then Quas is just there on the back line getting wrecked because none of his team can help. Ooh, exciting.
Hey!
They're trying to preempt the Baron, but they can't quite get it down.
Yeah.
That could. And there's a perpetual slow from that Braum ultimate if you're trying.
How'd they lose the
And
inhibitor?
hopefully his teleport
Base.
Oh, right.
Especially
by a giant Braum or something, and they ended up losing the
they
fight.
ran right for Lustboy.
Because they lost
Really
2 people for no
strange.
reason.
Easily, so there's Braum ultimate if you're trying to run over it as well. But Team
Hey!
they're trying to preempt the Baron, but they can't quite get it down.
Yeah.
That could have been a genius play, but now they're caught out a bit.
Yeah. Ooh. That zone control from TSM in that last fight, though, we keep talking about the area that Braum can control, and
Heard
they
that.
really combined it so well with Azir there for that kiting.
Centaur popped his on, is in the brush.
Happens. Just want to look good. Bjergsen soloing in the Dargon.
He's got his soldiers to aid him.
4 to 3. We're going to go all the way up to 9 dragons. on
Ah,
this one.
Jesus.
See who gets number 5 first.
I think
Game
if you're
goes that
Team
far, we're
Liquid,
coming up on
you don't play around the Baron right now. You play around the 5th dragon.
TSM in that last fight, though, we keep talking about the area
I think
that
I
Braum
honestly
can
think
control,
that
and
it's
Heard that.
worth
combined it so
trading the
well
Baron
with
if you get
Azir
5th
there
dragon
for
right
that
here.
kiting.
Centaur popped his on, is in the brush.
happens.
I just don't. What is Phoenix doing with this build? He still just has everything that he had before, and he's still just. Is he just waiting for a death cap?
3. We're going to go all the way up to 9 dragons on this one. See who gets number 5 first. If the game goes that far, we're coming up on to 50 their side, not to 76. One of the bigger gold leads we've actually seen.
Oh,
It's
God.
just years between a few thousand here.
There's a Zeke's now for Wild Turtle. He is late game, full
Still,
build
I'd
Jinx.
say anybody's game.
That is going to hurt
Good
quite a
fight,
bit.
good chaos.
Oh, he got a death cap. Great. He still has no magic penetration. Not going to be very helpful against Dyrus or anybody unless he can magically get back onto Bjergsen or Wild Turtle, which he can't because there's too much peel for those champions. He has to kill the front line. Victor must kill the front line here. He will never get a chance to kill Wild Turtle or Bjergsen. Through Gnar, through Braum, through Azir, you're not getting back there unless you like hide in a brush and get a magic Victor flank where you can just one-shot Wild Turtle.
Even so,
But that requires better vision control than Team Liquid has.
and not get completely destroyed by Bjergsen's Azir. I mean, these are 2 mega threats that they have to deal with.
TSM can't even really do this Baron.
Challenger, 4-item Jinx, and a max item
They have to be very concerned about the Victor
if they're gonna be
just
diving.
ulting in the pit.
And Turtle is looking to go defensive after this, too. The Banshee's Veil under construction.
Trying to stay safe. On the top side with a few spears to take down that turret, and another forward ward place, just about the same one Dyrus was able to teleport to, giving TSM enough vision to slightly engage.
Yeah.
Still, Dominate keeps coming out of these with like half HP. Not his day.
That
Yeah.
inhibitor is giving
Use
TSM
it.
so
Use
much
the
control.
Victor ult.
Melt the Baron.
No.
I blinked. What?
Pick it up almost instantly here, and now they're on the chase.
They didn't have any
Time
wards
that
from Maokai
Dominate
to
had the
TP
flash
too.
From Turtle, those rockets are on point.
Alright, well, this game's over. Goodbye,
Needs the help.
base.
Are able to drop Turtle 1.
Oh, we have...
Oh, so, well, as Meganar was running out anyways, as
Right.
soon as the Meganar comes out, expect Team Liquid to fight.
Special. He can't get the target.
What the fuck is this? This needs to be here. Not here. Right here.
He wants. He's got stuck. Quas in the last game.
How does that even happen?
Fights greatly.
Oh, so, well, as Meganar was running out anyways, as
Right.
soon as the Meganar comes out, expect Team Liquid.
Maybe... Oh, did Wild... Maybe I figured it out. Did Wild Turtle get headbutted out of the Victor ult?
So, well, as Meganar was running out anyways, as
Right.
soon as the Meganar comes out, expect Team.
Okay, so Wild Turtle got punted out of the Victor ultimate. It's just another bad engage from Team Liquid. Phoenix wasn't expecting for the flash pulve and then the punt onto Wild Turtle, so they just mess up their abilities as a result. And had that been placed here, had Phoenix properly placed the Victor ultimate knowing that the headbutt was coming in, it would have been probably about right here, and then he could have moved it onto the rest of the team. So it wasn't as bad as I thought. It was a lack of synergy, not just bad. But it's still really bad. Because look at this, Victor just gets zoned out Lustboy just stands there and zones out all of the AoE damage from this
They
fight.
are able to drop Turtle one
Do you
more
like playing in
time.
choke
There
points
was
with Azir?
Huge disengage from TSM last time.
Well, they got Turtle.
Again,
It ended up being
they get
okay.
to the spot they want. They didn't
surprisingly.
want that, though. A good hit.
Very
from
surprising. How did
Piglet
Turtle
takes
die?
down, and again, they get to the spot.
Oh, he actually got hit by a laser. Alright, Phoenix played that alright.
Turtle one more time.
Oh.
There was a huge disengage from TSM last time, and
I don't think that...
they
I don't
are
understand
able to
why Azir is holding his ult. That's the other thing I don't understand. Why Bjergsen holds his ult right here.
special.
Like, honestly, just ult. Right now.
He can't get
Save Lustboy. Clog this choke. Or not save Wild Turtle, clog this choke.
Stuck around Lust Boy.
Waits a really long time to use
They
it.
are able to
Whatever,
drop
it doesn't even
Turtle
matter
one
at this
more
point.
time. There was a huge disengage from TSM last time, and again, they get to the spot they want. They didn't want that, though. A good hit from Piglet takes down Santorin. Piglet and Dominate are both very low, and that's pretty much the case for everybody on the side of Liquid. Bjergsen just able to fight with the soldiers on the outside.
Nobody from Team Liquid goes down yet, though, and they can...
I would like to compare this situation to a previous situation in the game. There are currently 2 members of TSM alive. Now they know that TL is low, even though there are 5 people up. They are still putting pressure down onto an inhibitor. See? And they get it. They get it. It's not that dangerous. You poked them all out. You have an Azir. You can kill the turret quickly. And then run away. So TSM actually realizes how and when to take inhibitors, whereas Team Liquid just gets scared of a 5v4.
Unless there's a super on it. There is a super minion on their inhibitor, so someone might have to go back for that one. Either way, this is Team Liquid trying to at least trade an inhibitor of some
Phoenix
kind.
going back already.
Yeah, they can't trade.
Probably do a lot more if Bjergsen had died at least once in this 2 series.
This is down to
Down mid lane. Nobody
Oh
from
my
Team
God.
Liquid goes
That's
down
another
yet,
good
though, and
point.
they can send someone back for home guards.
Oh, God.
Quas is
Here
on
we
the way
go.
with the speed boost.
There are 2 members of TSM up right now. Quas has teleport. How do these people even get out of this situation? There's a ward here, and there's a ward here. Bjergsen should die. He has no ultimate. But they just run forward instead. Now, they should be able to get the inhibitor. This is true, but they could kill Bjergsen at the same time. And if they kill Bjergsen here, maybe they can win the game, actually.
There is a super minion on their inhibitor, so someone might have to go back for that one. Either way,
If they kill Bjergsen...
Phoenix going back already.
No!
Yeah, they can't trade.
Probably do a lot
No,
more.
no,
if
no, no,
Bjergsen
no, no.
had died at least once in this 2 series so
Just
far.
kill them.
But he has, or he died last series, I'm sorry. That was Wild Turtle. But this series, staying up, always able to defend, use that Emperor's
Why?
Pride.
Why?
Still able to set up those inhibitor turrets with his Sun turret. So keeping things safe. Turtle, however, did
What?
Bjergsen had
Someone might have to go back for
once in this 2 series so far. But he died last series, I'm sorry. That was Wild Turtle.
You chase them
This
all the way
series,
across the
staying
map. They
up,
could have killed
always
Bjergsen.
able
If
to
they kill
defend,
Bjergsen here,
use
honestly,
their
maybe they
Emperor's
can end the
Pride.
game. But that, not only that, they can at least get an inhibitor, and they just stand around
So keeping things safe. Turtle, however, did
and
die.
don't do anything. They go back to defend their... It doesn't matter if they lose an inhibitor right
Just
now.
to throw, dominate through the
They need to push it. They need to push the waves down so they have control over Dragon for the next spawn. If they kill Bjergsen there, they can like almost 100% get the next
without
Dragon.
That threat, Dyer's transforming back into mini Team Liquid.
Yeah.
And we'll get some kills for themselves and make sure that they don't have to deal with this double stacked supers, which is the most difficult. 40 seconds on that Dragon.
Okay.
A little bit of that farm game.
So
coming
they
into
still
play.
get a chance to push up.
5.8 CS to 408 for Wild Turtle.
All right, here it is.
Dominates less than Santorin. That
I thought the apocalypse was happening before, but
Liquid. Hopefully getting Piglet big enough.
it's really going to happen now, this time, I promise.
To do.
Here comes the Maokai. But there's no deep wards for him. Dominate eats a giant spear.
Make quick movements towards the mid lane to try and stop the super minions from crashing down on their base and still fight over this 5th
Okay,
dragon.
just do the dragon immediately.
Most
Team
dangerous
Liquid,
dragon
I believe in you.
now have a 6,000 gold
No,
deficit.
don't show the Maokai.
Teleport.
Struggled with
No!
some of these fights
TP above. Nar's not going to be built up this time, but Dominate did take a spear previously. They're still going to try to go into Dyrus. They know a small Nar can be easy to kill.
No, Quas, what are you doing?
He tried to take the high road. He's going to go down. Team Liquid.
Ooh, that was a nice ult
on
from
I was looking to see if Turtle could get that one to land. TSM's over the wall. They're on to Liquid now. He tried to be above. Nar's not going to be built up this time, but Dominate did take a spear previously. Still going to try to go on to Dyrus. They know.
Just cocoon Dyrus and deal damage to him. Look, okay. Hello, my name is Dragon. I am live. Can we please do Dragon?
Easy to kill.
They're in a giant conga line right now in the jungle. Well, Gnar has hop up, no problem. Meanwhile, Quas just face checks into the jungle into 4 members of TSM and dies. I just don't get it. I just don't get why you wouldn't just sit at this dragon. They don't have engage. The instant that Gnar comes in, this is smart. Okay, we're good, we're good, we're good. We're good. TL backs off. Smart, smart, smart. Okay. All right.
Gnar's not going to be built up this time.
Here. Gravity field. Boom, boom, boom. Gravity field, gravity field, gravity field. Dragon, dragon, dragon. I assume he has it off cooldown. I don't see gravity field.
Crash down their base and still fight over this 5th dragon. However, this is the most dangerous dragon of the game since they now have a 6,000 gold.
Because, okay, you're Team Liquid. You have Headbutt, you have Pulverize, you have Chaos Storm, you have Gravity Field. You have everything you need. You have Sivir ult. It doesn't really matter if this guy's over here. Somebody should just plop down a ward and let Maokai TP to be with the rest of your team. Again, they don't set this up very well. Maokai could even TP here. Okay? And just come in from the side. So up until this point, TL's doing everything right. Get the damage down. Gravity field goes here. You turn on to Dragon immediately. You TP immediately. You don't face check. And you certainly do not commit to going after Dyrus. Because they get strung out again. Again, we see Team Liquid just absolutely isolated, and TSM is easily able to cut it out. They are playing into TSM's win condition. And they are just absolutely doing nothing when it comes to winning the game themselves or playing to their team composition strengths. Bye.
Liquid now. That's Bjergsen trying to come up with a kill, but the repel comes out. Dominate lives for a second, but he's eventually.
Okay, well, I think TL had a lot of advantages going into that match, and I think what we saw was that they really. When TSM played the kite comp very well, I like what we saw from TSM. They managed to get a couple of very important dragons to prevent TL from stacking. They had good teleport engages. They played to the nature of their composition by kiting. But TL massively overcommitted to team fighting, to engages that they couldn't win. They were unable or unwilling to communicate that they should just back off once some of the key ults from TSM come out and just go for the objectives instead. Because TSM, as soon as some of those ults come out, if TSM at that point tries to engage on them, they have no more peel for their backline. So, it's not... I mean, TSM legitimately did play much better. Except the laning phase. The early game was really sloppy for TSM. But their coordination and their team fighting is just miles ahead. And that's... TL, they just kept having the same problems all year. Lack of coordination around objectives, split calls, whether it's stay on Baron or peel off of Baron to attack the enemy team, poor team fighting. Their early individual player strength, I think they're strong. Are they good at skirmishes? Yes. Are they good at laning? Yes. Can they win the early game? Yes. Are they good at lane swaps? Yeah, they're pretty good. But they just cannot hold it together around objectives, around team fights in the late game. So I'm going to take a 5-minute break to make myself some more tea. I will see you guys in 5 minutes.